There's no one in America who doesn't know that Donald Trump has been convicted. Nobody. Nobody is going to be persuaded one way or another by that ad. They will be persuaded by a choice about the future of the country. Joe Biden is the president of the United States of America, facing a bully of historic dimension, a man of loathsome qualities, a man of cruelty and menace, a no good lying man who is unfit for any public office, let alone the Oval Office. Donald Trump must be confronted. He's a failure and a loser, criminal. He has no business being in the White House. You can't trust him. It is Monday, the 17th of June. 141 days remain until the last votes will be cast in the 2024 presidential election that will decide the future of democracy in the United States. This is the warning. There is urgent news this morning from Popular Information in Judd Legume. You should subscribe because you can trust Popular Information in Judd Legume to inform you about what is happening in the world, including staggering media corruption, which is what we will talk about this morning. Let us start by talking about the Sinclair Broadcasting Network, which is connected to the eyeballs of Mr. and Mrs. America across the country who are held captive to its virulent propaganda. It is washed through the legitimacy of CBS, NBC, and ABC News affiliates. But in the end, the viewer is force-fed the vilest propaganda, lies, misinformation, all of it with a partisan intent. I am going to read directly from today's Popular Information by Judd Legume. Again, I urge you, subscribe. This is an urgent news source for this moment in time. You must be able to know what is happening and why. You must know who to trust, who is fearless, who will tell you the truth. Let me read to you. The headline states, Sinclair floods local news websites with hundreds of deceptive articles about Biden's mental fitness. This month, Sinclair Broadcast Group has flooded a vast network of local news websites with misleading articles suggesting that President Biden is mentally unfit for office. The articles are based on specious social media posts by the Republican National Committee, which are then repackaged to resemble news reports. The thinly disguised political attacks are then syndicated to dozens of local news websites owned by Sinclair, where they are given the imprinter of mainstream media brands including NBC, ABC, and CBS. For example, on June 10th, Biden attended an event on the White House lawn celebrating Juneteenth. The event included a musical performance, and Biden listened with a broad smile but did not dance. The RNC's research team posted a clip of Biden on X with the caption, "Why isn't Biden moving?" Hours later, the RNC's post was embedded into an article published by Sinclair's national desk with the headline, "Biden appears to freeze, slur words during White House Juneteenth event." The article claims without any evidence that Biden was dazed and only snapped out of his stupor when the man next to him put his arms around his shoulder. It also quotes the Trump campaign social media response in the same RNC video. "Lights are on, but no one's home," quote, end quote. The incident was described as one of, quote, multiple senior moments, end quote, for Biden during the event. The other senior moment highlighted in Sinclair's article is based on a clip posted on X by Fox News' Sean Hannity, one of Donald Trump's closest allies. Hannity posted a low-quality clip of Biden's speech at the event with the caption, "Biden sparks concern as he slurs his words during Juneteenth speech. Biden, who has been open about overcoming a stutter that he's had since childhood, slightly swallows the word history." But the full video of the speech shows that he spoke clearly. The article concludes by promoting an absurd rumor based on a deceptively edited clip that Biden soiled himself on stage while attending a D-Day celebration in Europe a few days earlier. Biden's strange stooping motion caused several terms to trend on X, including diaper, pooping, and pooped, Sinclair's national desk reported. On June 6th, Sinclair also devoted an entire article to amplifying the right-wing fabrication that Biden soiled himself on stage. The URL for the article even includes the word pooping. According to Sinclair, the incident paints a poor picture for Biden, 81, who is fighting off harsh criticisms of his physical and mental capabilities, end quote. Another article referencing pooping was published by Sinclair and syndicated to its affiliates on 7 June. Each of these crass political smears masquerading as journalism was syndicated to at least 86 local news websites owned by Sinclair. Articles produced by Sinclair's national desk are published at the exact same time on every local website. The June 10 article, for example, was published on each website at exactly 9:24 a.m. Eastern. This suggests these articles are automatically syndicated, and local journalists and affiliates are not able to exercise editorial discretion when these articles are syndicated. They appear alongside identically formatted articles on local government, weather, and sports. Sinclair did not respond to a detailed list of questions about these articles and its editorial practices. Instead, Sinclair sent the following statement: "It is evident that you are promoting a specific agenda regarding Sinclair, a false narrative you continue to push irrespective of the facts, allowing you to gain clicks and some notoriety. We do not believe you can remain objective." And the story goes on and on and on. The Biden campaign doesn't seem to realize what it's up against. Let's look at an ad by the Biden campaign that is released today that is a fail. It's soulless. It's flat. It's like it was written by a committee of ChatGPTs. Let's watch.
In the courtroom, we see Donald Trump for who he is. He's been convicted of 34 felonies, found liable for sexual assault, and he committed financial fraud. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's been working, lowering healthcare costs and making big corporations pay their fair share. This election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself and a president who's fighting for your family.
Here's a good ad, by the way, from just a few days ago. This hits Trump hard and emotionally.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured.
Across the American media landscape, there is incredibleness to behold. Let's look at the story from the world's leading puzzle company that still has a legacy news operation, the New York Times, which for sure is battling its own credibility issues. In this story, however, it hits the nail on the head, landing a heavy punch on the Rupert Murdoch henchman from London, who is implicated in the journalistic equivalent of Watergate that now leads the Washington Post. The quotes from the story are astonishing. The Washington Post, which assert democracy dies in darkness, is lighting up the sky at high noon. Its credibility burning. That's too bad, because America needs the Washington Post at this decisive hour. It needs journalistic outlets with a reputation for truth-telling. Let's take a look over at CNN. This is a truly appalling moment.
Trump is a good guy. Trump gets a bad beat. You know, politics are dirty. You know this as well as anybody else. He loves this country, and he loves every American in this country, despite what they say about him. I have been friends with this guy for a very long time. He's a very good human being, and he's been a very good friend to me.
I guess at CNN, the Me Too era is past midnight, because here we see Laura Coates asking a wife beater about his love for somebody who raped a woman and then defamed her. Let's listen to the wife beater proclaim how much Trump loves all Americans without there ever being a question about his violence. Why is this man being allowed to give character testimony to Donald Trump in a free commercial on a news network? What it demonstrates is a level of profound corruption. And in a sea of corruption, who does the corruption help? It helps the filthiest animal in the sea. And the filthiest animal in the corrupt sea, proverbially, of course, is Donald Trump, who's thriving in the chaos. And if the election were tomorrow, Donald Trump would win. Here's the thing about the soulless and flat Biden ad. It's not good enough. It's not big enough. It doesn't raise the stakes high enough. It's time to summon help. It's time to ask for help. The election isn't about Biden and Trump. It's about MAGA and America and all of the voices, whether they be Ronald Reagan's or George Herbert Walker Bush's or Gerald Ford's or Dwight Eisenhower's that speak to the soul of the Republican Party, now gone, but remembered by millions of people still voting. The Biden campaign must raise the American flag high and communicate emotionally through a prism of Americanism about the stakes. The ad sucks. It's terrible. It doesn't raise anybody's pulse. It won't do anything except burn money. It's time to raise the stakes. It's time to provoke a fight. The bottom line is, when there are entire news operations involved in a coordinated propaganda effort on behalf of your opponent, it is time to wake up. Complaining about the tactics, complaining about the videos is not going to stop them. In fact, it will incite more aggression because weakness always incites the aggressor. There's only one thing to be done. A bully must be hit back so hard that remembering the last ad will put the Trump campaign into the fetal position. Bullies must be fought and confronted. There are many ways to confront them. There's no one in America who doesn't know that Donald Trump has been convicted. Nobody. Nobody is going to be persuaded one way or another by that ad. They will be persuaded by a choice about the future of the country. Joe Biden is going to need to walk out on this debate stage before very long, and he's going to have to look at Donald Trump in the eye, and he's going to have to handle him. He's going to have to emasculate him. He's going to have to humiliate him. Joe Biden is the president of the United States of America, facing a bully of historic dimension, a man of loathsome qualities, a man of cruelty and menace, a no good lying man who is unfit for any public office, let alone the Oval Office. Donald Trump must be confronted. He must be confronted with a powerful, irrefutable fact, and that's that he's no good, that he's disloyal, that he's a failure and a loser, criminal. He has no business being in the White House. You can't trust him.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning, and I invite you to subscribe on our Substack, on our YouTube channel. Follow us. Welcome to the community.